marvellous tennis, but he was very lucky to get away with that. And what a pity for Henman. He couldn't do something with those 3 break points. So we're looking at the man who's just taken the first set, and perhaps a little fortunate to do it, but he's done it. And there's the summary of the first set. Henman, better first serve percentage. Only 1 ace from Henman and 3 double faults. Winners exactly the same, but unforced errors 10. Well, I don't know about that. That's objective. Mark, you've been down at courtside. What's your assessment of what's gone on?
Well, I think from Krajicek's point of view, he's glad that he's won the first set. He doesn't want this match to go long, obviously because of fitness, but it is a pretty cool night here in New York, so he'll be fairly pleased about how things have gone. But I've spoken to a number of people, and it seems that Henman has had a fairly big impact here in America. Obviously, his final in Cincinnati, and there's a fair few people down here that know him and are pulling for him. But as you say, Bill, he hasn't really capitalised on the chances he's created so far in this match.
No, well, I suppose you could say that Krajicek has, you know, he's made life pretty difficult for Henman, smothering the net. But Henman's had his chances, 6 of them, and he should have taken 1. And the weather down there, is it windy on court?
Yeah, it is pretty windy tonight, actually, Bill. Although the storm has passed over, it seems to be hanging around in terms of the wind, and tough for both players.
Yeah, it was coming from the south, so if you look at your picture, it's coming from behind and going towards the man at the far end.
But do you think the second serve from Henman's lacking a little bit of bite compared to the Krajicek second serve?
Well, it was the area I said at the beginning of the match that I felt was going to be exploited, if any. And yes, I think Krajicek just a little bit more willing at the moment to get a little bit more on the second serve, and then he's getting in tighter to the net. I agree with you, Chris.
We watched Sampras today, didn't we, striking second serves at 100 plus, and Henman's is at times hardly getting above the 100 mark.
Yeah, I think that's the problem when he's playing someone like Krajicek. He doesn't have the big second serve, and I think what he's trying to do is what's been so successful in his previous matches is getting the ball up quite high. But obviously Krajicek, being the tall man that he is, he can't quite get it up high enough.
Yeah, not a very good return, but Krajicek's footwork perhaps at fault. Henman comes through the first game, as he should. He leads 1-0.
Important start for Henman, that to hold his opening service game. And we go back to belief and confidence, and Henman certainly full of confidence and belief coming into this match. So even though he's lost the first set, he'll still have faith in his ability to come through this one. And the main thing is, yes, he lost the first set, but he had chances. And you can only win a match if you get yourself to the chances. He's had them, he hasn't converted. Somewhere along the line, if he can just keep getting the chances, he will.
Yes, if he'd just taken 1 of in those 2 games, each game when he had 3 break points, he would have won the set, what, 6-3?
Ball toss from Krajicek on his second serve is a little bit low. Needs to put it up a fraction. Such a small margin for error on this serve because the action is so quick. The ball toss has to be perfect.
It's a beautiful backhand. And that time, Henman, remembering the net gets a bit taller, higher there. He's hit too many tapes going wide. Each man served 4 double faults now.
Henmans have been sporadic. The Krajiceks have come in bunches.
Oh, that's a sensational shot. Par excellence.
Well, this wasn't a bad volley at all from Krajicek. You can see he had Henman stretching out wide, but look at the early preparation and then the foot plant with the right foot on balance. Henman's 7th break point. Can he take this one?
Golly. Like a flash of lightning at the net, coming into the net.
That's too good. You can see Henman just nodding. Nothing wrong with that point. .132 mph, not his quickest of the tournament. 135 is his quickest.
Once again, top of the tape. He's just got to raise his sights a little bit.
And a very intelligent second serve from Krajicek. Was struggling, served a couple of double faults in the game, took all the pace off that one, 79 miles per hour. Just got it in, and then when the short ball came, took it on and won the point. 1 game apiece.
Almost identical first serve percentages they have. Absolutely identical, 54% now each. Oh, that was very well played because he overran it actually and had to play it close to his body.
Well, wonderful control with the wrist from Krajicek. You can see just snapping up the back of the ball.
Krajicek's his return of serve is pretty incredible. digging them all back, making Henman play. Yep. And here's trouble. A brilliant point from Krajicek. 2 break points.
Well, henman guilty really in the second time of this game going cross-court with the volley. You can see here, look, that one doing better off going back behind Krajicek. Krajicek on the run on this forehand wing. It's his better shot. And mopping up the reply from Henman.
Good serving. First serve in. Even better serving. Oh, that's great, great serving. Really well done. Surviving 2 break points and staying ahead 2-1. Well, if he's in any way unfit, Krajicek, he's certainly not showing any signs of it as yet, is he? Very mobile.
No, I mean, it is early days. I mean, it's well, just set and a bit gone. Krajicek is, I wouldn't say unfit, but not in the best possible shape. That will come into play maybe deep in a 4th set, stroke 5th set.
Seats, please.
1-2, second set. Yep, well played.
Krajicek. 2 games on. Love 15.
Nice volley.
30-15.
Well controlled, deep.
And krajicek looking at the surface as if he got a bad bounce. Henman really putting a lot of work on that volley.
Golly, that was pretty good judgment. Steve Ulrich from the United States. Good pick up by Henman, wide of him, well controlled, good game. Stays ahead 3-2, second set.
3 games to 2.
Well, he has the advantage of serving first in this set, so he's always the 1 game ahead at the changeover. But I'd like to see him actually achieve something rather than those grim figures of no broken points in 7 attempts.
At least he's getting them, though. That is what Henman will take some heart from. A rather shaky shot of one of the bridges that goes across to Manhattan. You can see Henman at the changeovers really working on himself. He knows that this was always going to be tight coming in, and it's proving to be just like that. It's 1 or 2 points here or there, and right now krajicek is the one that has taken those 1 or 2 points when they've really mattered. But Henman's had his chances. He's had some second serves on those break points and hasn't been able to take advantage of that.
Time.
But a real quality match right the way through this one so far. Not really a dip in form from either man.
No, if you look at the forehand winners, it's interesting, isn't it? Henman's made 8. Krajicek's only made 2. Backhand winners almost the same. 3 to Henman, 4 to Krajicek. So how is Krajicek winning?
Love 15. Seats, please. Love 30.
Well, this is deja vu. You know, a very good return by Henman. Don't get overexcited, Henman, though, because you've been here before. You've had him at love 40. Didn't make anything of it.
15, 30.
This is what he tends to do. Produces a massive serve just when it's needed. Very big point coming up now. 15:30. So often is at 15:30. Did I hear a call of no? It was in, I'm sure.
That was good. Way in.
This crowd is very much behind Henman, I think. This is absolutely perfect to the inch, 2 break points. Now then, Henman must make him play, or it must be in court. I don't believe it. A very, very high approach, return rather, by Henman. The easiest possible volley, really. Krajicek. Well, hardly the easiest possible, but certainly absolutely makeable. And finally, Krajicek is broken.
Well, I said if he continued to give himself chances, eventually he'd take one. He didn't take it probably the way that he would have expected, with Krajicek really donating that one with a bad volley. But nonetheless, it's a break of serve for Henman, and serving with the new balls. Needs to really focus here, hold his serve.
That was mighty good judgment too. Yes, that's about the first time he's exploited going behind the opponent.
I think it is the first time, and we're waiting for it, really. I think Henman as well, learning from the last time he's volleyed into the forehand corner what Krajicek can do with it. And you can see Krajicek, because Henman had done that, automatically covering to the forehand side.
That's a difficult volley there, I felt. I felt myself playing that volley with him, and I hit it out, Chris.
Well, you probably would, Bill.
Yeah, you
Henman
bet.
wouldn't.
Difficult sort of prod volley to play, though. Excellently underlined. If they show a picture of David Felgate, his coach, he'd be smiling at that. There we are, looking at him. How about that? You always tell me to underline my break of serve.
Well, certainly Krajicek plenty to think of at the change of ends, because up until that last service break of his, he was really in control of this one. Even though Henman was pressing, you've got to think Krajicek would have been feeling happy. But Henman dealing well with the frustration of not being able to convert on his first 8 break points. And strong in the mind just to keep plugging away, keep the belief up as much as possible. And eventually Henman getting the break. Krajicek, I think, as well, would be worried with a little bit with the rhythm of his serve so far. Started off well, but a little bit patchy at times, especially on the second serve. Has had a run of double faults in his last 3 or 4 service games. And Henman now in control of this second set.
I get the feeling that people around this stadium feel rather like we do, and of course we're totally unbiased, aren't we, Chris? But we're just hoping 100% that Henman does well here. But the crowd in the United States are very much behind Henman. In fact, I think around the world they like his style of play.
15 love.
And I do too, and I'm sure you do too, because it's a good all-court, vivid sort of stroke making. Very good hands. Doesn't find those high returns too difficult, does he?
Thankfully, he did on the break point when he missed that backhand.
Love game, putting the pressure back on Henman to serve out this set.
That'll please Krajicek purely because he just slowed down the action just a fraction and the serve started to work. But here's the crunch for Henman, serving to level of the set all.
Very difficult shot from Krajicek to handle that. Very hard and very low over the net.
Yes, Henman missing the volley just wide.
Oh dear, snatched at it. Yeah, I was going to say before that serve, from here on in, first serves are obligatory. Gosh, what a good pass. 2 break points.
Well, you can't blame Henman for going back to Krajicek's backhand because the forehand he's seen fly past him, but just not deep enough.
Krajicek looking around for help.
As a courtesy to the players, please do not disturb them during the point.
Somebody calling out halfway through Henman's service action. Both players looking up into the stands to see who it was.
That is so good. That is totally professional. A sequence of first serves in when trouble loomed. Set point. Felgate adjusts an ambitious looking face. Continue the sequence of first serves would be a good idea. very, very good.
Second set, henman. 6 games to 3.
So this has been between two men, not one man playing very well and one not so well, between two men both playing very good tennis, the best I've seen this tournament. Chris, have you seen better?
Krajicek having to save break points to serve out a set. I think both men will be sitting down. I think realizing that they're facing an opponent, either man, who is playing very well, and as you said, Bill, good quality and a really important hold for Henman. From 15-40 down, he got the first serves in. Mark Petchey scurries up from courtside, and Mark, some set from Henman, and eventually getting the break point rather fortuitously.
Well, you have to say that he's had so many chances, and eventually Krajicek coming in, and it looked from here, I don't know what you thought up there, Chris, that it was actually going out anyway. It didn't look to me like Krajicek actually had to play it, but I wasn't sure. And anyway, he missed it, but all credit to him. And I think in that last service game, you can just see the sort of improvements that he's made in his game. 4 first serves to serve out the set, and he's right in this match, and the crowd are just beginning to really get into it. It's what the match needed was 1 set all. They know now there's a real contest out here.
Do you think Henman could do with going back behind Krajicek a little bit more? He's gone into the space and paid the price.
Well, he has. I was actually speaking to Tom Gullickson while I was out here, and he was saying he'd like to see Henman use the chip return a little bit more off the Krajicek second serve. Get it down low to Krajicek's feet and hit the second shot as the pass. We saw in the game that he broke with the great forehand pass down the line. That's what he'd like to see, Gullickson would like to see a little bit more of. And Gullickson's got a little bit of cash on Henman, so, you know, we need to get a message to him.
Thanks, Mark.
So if Krajicek wanted a quick match, he's not really going to get one. It's going to be at least 4 sets. Here we go, 3rd set.
15.
Well, there's maybe an opportunity that Henman could use the little chip down at Krajicek's feet. Hearing Mark Petchey saying that Tom Gullickson, who's had a word with, felt that Henman could do with using that bit a little bit more, that shot a little bit more, instead of going for the hit through the ball.
Good idea, but not very well applied. And a good game for Krajicek to open the 3rd set. Interesting that Tom Gullickson is still in attendance here. Really getting quite late. It's it's 11 o'clock here in New York.
Well, he's good friends with Henman.
Yes, of course, through the Sampras.
And David Felgate. They play a lot of backgammon together.
Love 15.
Double faults go up to 6. Krajicek has 5. Well, that's tough, and gets slowed down that much. There's not a lot you can do.
15-30.
Rather fortunate to get away with that, krajicek, because it was a bit of a bluff. The approach was very short indeed, but when you're that big, you're an imposing factor at the net.
Well-controlled half volley. And good for Krajicek to make him play one. Well, no question of is that going to be in or out. It could possibly have gone wide, but I think it was going in. And an excellent finish off quite a difficult sort of smash off to your right. Henman with a point for 1-all.
Engage, henman.
Good serving.
1 game.
Henman right now, first serve percentage 70%. That's the highest I've ever seen it from him in this type of match. Just waiting for a few people to settle down behind Krajicek's arm.
Oh, cunning.
Well, this one should have gone away from Krajicek, no doubt about it. But look at the hands from Henman. The racket face well out in front all the time. That's all in the wrist. He knew where he wanted to put that one when he saw the shot he had from Krajicek. That takes a lot of talent. He's still ball toss very low from Krajicek. That's why he's missing these second serves. Almost collapsing at times. Sixth double fault.
I think he tried a shot that was a little even beyond him. He would have been so skillful if he'd brought it off.
Again, you've got to hand it to Krajicek. Henman here, this ball way behind him. Trying, as Bill said, a little bit of an impossible shot, but good play from Krajicek. Let's see if he puts the ball toss up a little bit more on this second serve. Henman would do well to just impose himself a little bit more here.
Oh, that's so close. Tough. Tight game. Just a few inches here and there in this match. And Krajicek 2-1. So this match just stays absolutely on a knife edge for both players all the way through. It really is a very, very high quality contest indeed. And in the locker room afterwards, the winner and the loser are going to say, I remember just those two crucial points in this entire match.
Well, one thing to show in the locker room, there's going to be nobody left. Because I think by the time this one's finished, what are we, just gone past 11 in the evening. Labor Day weekend is going to go into a Sunday, I think, for these two. Match update, well, the first serve percentage for Henman, that's the best I've ever seen it in his entire career, 70% in this type of match. Krajicek not bad at 56%, and pretty even all the way around. Unforced errors as well, just 4 more from Henman. Of course, if you're back in the UK, it's 4:05, but I'm sure you're enjoying this one as much as we are. Let's hope we get the right outcome. Be worth staying up for if we do.
Good tactics, straight in the belly. Apology, of course.
What was a good tactic was the first volley from Henman. Kept it very low, forced Krajicek to play up. That's the way to deal with a man who is rushing you on the volley.
No, just overdid it. When he goes to the net on the second serve of Henman's, it makes for a very frantic point. Very little time to decide what you're going to do in Henman's case. Now then, he can stand by for that scenario, perhaps.
Henman, I think, is dealing well with the problem of these second serves, because you can see all the time Krajicek is taking up a very aggressive stance when Henman's hitting these second serves.
Absolutely ideal. So well played, in fact, it was slightly humiliating almost for Krajicek. It was just yards and yards away from that excellent volley.
Krajicek frustrated he didn't play a better shot on the return, wanted to get it low.
Well left. Good point, good game. A difficult game, that one, I thought, for Henman. Came through it well. Krajicek has been to the net 72 times. And he's won 47 of the points, 65%, that is. Oh, he dealt with that well. Applauded by Henman. He knows how to play that shot well.
Well, second time that Krajicek has dealt with this type of shot extremely well. That one even better than the first. Look at the wrist snap that he gets. Watching the ball all the time. Perfection.
Well, hit slowly like that with a load of topspin, you really must hit it quite high over the net. Oh, that was travelling. Seemed faster, 124. Pretty powerful game by Krajicek. And he goes ahead again, 3-2.
Waiting somewhere, Bill, for this match to have a tie-break. They've had a tie-break in every previous encounter. In fact, 6 of their sets out of the 10 played coming into this had been tie-breaks. I think that we can see why, but the quality of the returning from both men has been high. Has had every single factor. Each man, when the other one is making just a tiny slip, making them pay. Good to see that not too many people have left. Of course, Labor Day weekend, people have got a holiday, and I'm sure enthralled as much as we are with this match, and no indication really right now of who's going to come through this one. It's going to come down to who takes maybe a few more risks, grabs it by the scruff of the neck. If you were going to go on that theory, then maybe Krajicek, who would take a gamble or two on the henman's second serve that had arrived. So far, nothing to choose between the two.
Well, play good balance for that, nice and deep. No. We're seeing a bit more of the two men converging at the net now. Henman going forward and volleying the volley. Good serve, straight down the middle, lowest part of the net. That is safe.
3 games on.
3 all.
Well, both men going for new rackets. I thought for a moment that we were missing something. But, krajicek once again unravelling the racket, new restring. New balls in play. I suppose you wonder if this goes to 5 sets, goes long, that krajicek has brought enough rackets out with him to continue to take out a new racket with a new restring at every ball change. Might have to play a 5th set with a racket that he doesn't feel is the right tension.
Good idea, but overcooked it a bit.
Ever so slightly, just gone into a little bit of a lull here, middle of the 3rd. Both men still playing high quality, but not executing the second shots as well as they have been.
He'll be 26 in a few days' time, 6th of September. Big serving again. 4-3.
Krajicek leads 4 games to 3.